Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for Asphodelos, the First Circle. This is the brand new raid made available by patch 6.01 in Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. No need to flail pitifully or succumb to Raider's wrath. Let Duty Finder torment you no more. My name is Ms. Tech and I'll be your raid guide. The outer perimeter of the arena is deadly and should be avoided at all times throughout the encounter. Anytime the boss casts Jailer's Flail, players will need to look to see what side of his body the flail is swinging on and move to the opposite side. The boss will begin the encounter by flailing both sides in succession, so be ready to move. Warder's Wrath will deal high raid-wide damage. Shield and heal as necessary. Pitiless Flail will target a random player with a long line attack and knockback. To avoid getting knocked to their death, affected players should move close to the boss or use a knockback immunity. All other players will need to move away as necessary. Immediately after, that player will be targeted by a stack-up marker, and the raid will need to stand with them to share the incoming damage of True Holy. Heavy Hand will target the primary tank with a hard-hitting tank buster. Cooldown and heal through this. Intemperance will mark up all players with either a cold or hot spell. The arena will then be divided into 4 quadrants, with each quadrant displaying a pillar of 3 hot or cold segments. The boss will then cast Intemperate Torment, causing the hot or cold segment from the bottom up of each pillar to explode in succession, dealing very high damage and debuffs to players with the same debuff. To handle this, all players will need to identify whether they are hot or cold, and then move into a quadrant of the opposite color or temperature. Each explosion will reapply each player's debuff, so they'll need to adjust into the appropriate quadrant for each hit. Once all 3 segments explode, the pillars will disappear and the platform will return to normal. You'll have another raid-wide AoE blast and tank buster to heal through. Next, Shining Cells will transform the platform into these orange and greenish-white pizza slices. The boss will cast AETHERCHAIN, causing specific sections of the platform to explode. Players will need to look closely at the boss during the AETHERCHAIN cast and identify the color indicator. If the boss indicates orange, players will need to stand in the green sections, and vice versa. The next AETHERFLAIL cast will also have a color indicator around it. Players will first need to identify the safe side of the boss away from the flail, and then adjust to be standing on the section of the opposite color to the boss indicator. Another Pitiless Flail will target a player, use the knockback immunity, or stand near the boss to avoid death, and then have the group stack up to share the incoming damage. Eventually, the boss will cast Slam Shut, dealing high raid-wide damage and returning the platform to normal. Be sure to heal through this as necessary. Another Intemperate mini-phase will form, and players will need to stand in quadrants of the opposite temperature to avoid death. This time, the boss will also cast Jailer's Flail, so be ready to adjust to the safe side as soon as the final temperature explosions go off. Another 2 raid-wide blasts and a tank buster to shield and heal through. At this point, all of these mechanics will repeat until the boss is down. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we're heading into the second circle. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.